Welcome to the online tutorials for uKnowva HRMS. In this video, we shall understand about the virtual biometric plugin in the uKnowva HRMS. Virtual biometric is a biometric solution given by uKnowva HRMS to record the attendance for those organizations which do not have a physical biometric system or has a set of employees who cannot use the physical biometric because they are out on fields or on tours or on meetings and client ends. For those cases, virtual biometric has become a great tool and an add-on in uKnowva HRMS. Now, how to configure the virtual biometric in uKnowva HRMS? Click on the profile picture in the top right corner of your page. Go to uKnowva configuration. Click on Plugin Manager. In the Search tab, type Virtual and click on Go. You will see the Virtual Biometric Attendance Tracker plugin over here. Click on the same and it will take you to the configuration page of the plugin. The first part in the plugin is the Publish option. I've kept the publish option over here as yes, which means that the virtual biometric works for this particular instance of uKnowva HRMS. If you unpublish this plugin, then the virtual biometric will no longer be applicable to the HRMS. Make sure that the accessible to is always kept to all. Allowed groups is those groups that are supposed to use the virtual biometric. You can also exclude users manually by typing their username in this option provided. For now, I am not going to exclude any users. Allowed device are the devices from which the virtual biometric plugin can be accessed by the employee. So I'm going to allow all devices, which means desktops and laptops plus mobile and tablet as well. Allowed IP address is you have to enter the comma separated list of IP addresses for which the plugin page shall be displayed as soon as the user logs in. This has to be the static IP addresses, and it can be of your office environment or your client's IP address, etc. If you do not type any IP address over here, for all the employees for all the employees, the virtual biometric will be seen as soon as they punch into the HRMS for the first time. User groups with no IP restrictions, which this means that those users whose IP addresses are not inserted over here but still will have access to virtual biometric. Again, I'm not defining all of this because I have kept the virtual biometric accessible to all over here. Next is make comments mandatory. In the virtual biometric, uh, an employee is expected to type in his plan for the day or details about his meeting or sales call or customer details. If you keep the comments mandatory as yes, an employee will not be able to log into the system until and unless he types in his comments in the virtual biometric. Approval required is if an employee is using virtual biometric, should his attendance be sent to his managers for approval. This makes sure that the virtual biometric is not misused by the employees. So I'm going to keep the approval required as yes for now. IPs that do not require approval. For example, if you know that your employee is going to the client's end and he's going to be in the client's end for, say, about a month, he has to mark his attendance in our HRMS. Therefore, he'll be using the virtual biometric. Since you already know that he is going to the client's end for the next 1 month, you can put the client's static IP address in this space provided so that when the employee logs in using the static IP address, his attendance will not be sent to the employee's reporting authority for approval. So his attendance will automatically get approved. Also, for those organizations which do not have a physical biometric and are using a virtual biometric to track attendance for all the employees, this is a great tool to ensure those people who are logging in using the company's own static IP addresses do not have to get their attendances approved on a daily basis. The next is user groups that do not require IP address. For example, your management category employees, your auditors, etc., who don't necessarily mark their attendance in the system. For those people and for those category where you do not want to keep a tab on from where they are logging in and from what manner they are logging in, you can exclude those users over here so that their attendance does not go to anyone for approval and their attendance is automatically marked in the attendance system. You can also add individual users to this list by typing in the username. The next part is the approvers list. So this list is where is you defining the HR defining who will approve an employee's attendance. It can be their immediate supervisor. It can also be the HR manager. So depending on the organization's policy, this approver list can be updated by the HR. For now, I'm going to keep it as only the immediate supervisor. The next is the default approver. The default approver is the person who is by default sent all the notifications pertaining to attendance approval using the virtual biometric and who will become the default approver in case the list of approvers have not updated an employee's attendance. For now, I'm going to keep the default approver. Normally, the default approver is the HR manager of the organization. For now, I'm going to let the administrator be the default approver for this particular instance. The next is the notifications to the approvers should be received from what medium. I have kept the notification as email and uKnowva configuration. You can also have just uKnowva configuration or just emails. The next option is after what time should an user be automatically punched out. That is the threshold that you decide as an organization for every employee's punch in. A lot of organizations have kept the threshold very less, like 4 hours or 5 hours. This is to ensure that if a person is still working after the completion of threshold, he has to go and log in once again and record his attendance. Normally, the threshold is kept somewhere around 9 to 10.